people will say, I switched from one psychiatric drug to another, I feel terrible. Why?
Yeah. Well, so there's a pretty obvious, there can be a pretty obvious explanation for that. Well, if the drugs are too different in terms of their receptor profile, so that is what they do in the brain, then in essence what you did is you stopped a drug cold turkey. It doesn't matter that you introduced another one. If that's sufficiently different from the first drug, you'll get a withdrawal reaction. So in many of these situations, think of it as a cold turkey, and that's why it's problematic. So to stop a drug and start another one, for that transition not to in itself be cause a withdrawal reaction, the drugs need to be very, very similar. So many people can, for example, switch between different SSRIs with not a lot of problems. Now, some people do get problems for other reasons, but sometimes you're pretty, I can't say often, but sometimes you're definitely pretty free to change drug. Whereas if you change from one antipsychotic to another, or from an SNRI to an SSRI, or from an antidepressant to a benzo or something that's completely different, well, without tapering, well, then the same thing applies. You're introducing withdrawal state because you don't taper it. So we can't just switch drugs from here and then from A to B and then expect to get a window into how you then feel on the other drug. Like, that's what we need to understand, that we can't. And I know this is being done, this is practiced anywhere, to just switch drug. And just like with no knowledge or awareness of withdrawal and the whole withdrawal issue, it makes sense. Like, let's try another drug then if you didn't benefit from the first one. But all this switching is confusing the nervous system in itself too. So the very problem in a nutshell is the exact same as the withdrawal issue. Like, you don't get a window into how you do on the other drug. You get a window into withdrawal from one drug and introduction of another drug, which is very messy in a way. So when switching psychiatric drugs, depending on how long you've been taking it, obviously that also needs to be tapered and tapered down and tapered up.